Okay, one last technique. This one is using inks again, but this time I'm going to use the Distress Inks by Tim Holtz Ranger ink pads, okay? And many of you have these and you stamp with them, and that's awesome to use for stamping, and you can manipulate them, but also you can use it to just colorize some of the details on your photos. So I've printed out on a matte photo paper this image of a house that I took, and I found these. You can use one of those water pens, but you can also use, I found these Fantastics, which are by Sukinik, I think that is. And what you can do is you can use them wet or you can use them dry to blend, and you can also have them soak up inks, like dip them in a re-inker and then cap it to keep the inks moist, and then you can reuse it over and over again. So it's pretty cool. You can make your own markers kind of thing. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use it wet, and you can see it has like a little brush tip here. And in my water, I'm just going to kind of dip it into the water and get it a little wet. Now I'm going to colorize the lighter portions of the house here. And all I'm doing is I'm taking my inking pad and I'm rubbing the tip onto the surface, and you can see how it transferred. Now I can make it lighter or darker by adding more water, okay? And I'm going to use it like a marker. I'm just going to kind of add color in here, and if I need more I can go back in. And where it's lighter on my picture, I'm going to add the water to make it lighter and add more ink to make it a little darker if I want. And it's still pretty transparent. You can see through it onto the page. This is vintage photo color that I'm using. And you can see I'm just going over the white details here and adding some color to them. I could do it in the dark areas too. Okay, and look at it. It's just adding a very subtle hand-colored look to it. And everybody, almost everybody I know, has these ink pads. So using a brush or a nib like this is a great way to utilize what you have in a different way. Okay, and I can change colors by just dipping this in water and cleaning it off. And I'm going to use some peeled paint color, which is a green, kind of like a, whoops, as I fling that at myself, kind of a green here, and I'm going to add that in to the greenery, and I can actually draw with this. Adding some color, I can just draw right into the little shrub here that's next to the house. If I wanted to colorize that as well. You could see right through it, so I don't have to be really careful. Or I could have made the house green, you know. So whatever colors you have, you can use, and try these with different ink pads too. I like the Ranger because it's made for this kind of product, this kind of manipulation, where you can water it down and add detailing and things like that. Really cool, really cool effects. Okay, so that's just another way of adding color to a photograph. And this, you can do this on watercolor paper. I printed this image on watercolor paper and did the same technique, and then I dripped some of the re-inker pad. I had the drip, what do you call it? The drip bottle, the dropper bottle for the re-inking. And I just put it at the top a little bit, and then I went like this and dripped down the side, so it gives a little bit of an aged look. Another interesting thing that you can use is this walnut ink, which is an antiquing solution, actually. That's what they call it. And what you can do with that is really add so if I wanted to really antique this, I could hold it up and spritz this. I could use, water to just colorize the whole thing with it. Go over the whole thing. the alcohol inks, and look at it, gives it an aged photo look there. So if I wanted to just put a little on here, and then take my inking nib, and then I could just colorize my whole photo with that, or I could just dip this whole photo in a bath with this. I'm kind of like, if you had a bigger brush, it would work better actually. So let me grab a bigger brush. Here's a watercolor brush, and I could do a wash right over my photo. Be careful not to scrub too much. But if I just wanted to age my photo and make it look old and antiqued, this walnut ink is awesome. And I think it comes in different kinds of walnut ink, like more of a black tone to it, or greenish tone sepia. This gives it a sepia look, this walnut ink. Okay, so my photo now has a sepia tone to it. And again, try different things. Try dripping down the image. You could do this first and then add color to it. So this gives it an aged vintage look. Okay, so enjoy and have fun with inking with ink pads and walnut ink. And that's just another way to add color or change the look of your photograph and your image.